So good morning, everybody, and welcome to Entrepreneur Virtual Town Hall and Group Coaching. I seldom do this. It's a very rare occurrence, maybe at most twice, 3 times a year. And the whole reason for a virtual town hall is so that I can gather my inside group, my inner circle, so to speak. You are either my students, my mentees, and you are somehow associated to me and my work. The outline for today is what's most important for your business right now, 2023. And it's so timely, right? That's straight after the budget. You know, the budget this year is really about clawing back all that the government has spent. We businesses will all be affected somehow. Number two, reviewing your marketing funnel. And I can tell you more than 50% of most people's marketing funnels out there are broken. And then number three, I will give you the 4 key powerful usages of how to harness ChatGPT. All right. If you have not downloaded or watched my video replay of the 5 future trends of 2023 and beyond, I think you guys need to have a contextual reference to what I'm going to talk about. Here's the link. And here's the QR code for you to scan if you have not watched this 30-minute video, which I highlighted late 2022 in December, where I talk about the 5 future trends of 2023. So let's talk about the first piece about what's important for your business right now. Can you see the 3 quotes here? And this, of course, is highlighted by people like Peter Drucker, Chris Cole, right? So CX, which is customer experience, is now the new focus. CX is the new focus. CA is customer attention is the new currency. And as we all know, current attention is a currency that is getting shorter and shorter. And that's why everything that we're doing is short form, right? From your reels to your stories on social media, to your text on your EDM, to your landing pages, everything shortened and shortened and shortened. In fact, Facebook or Meta released a report early last year that says that video watch is now reduced to the first impressions 3 seconds or less, like 3 seconds or less. No point cutting a fancy video that explains and educates about your product or services and put it into 1 minute anymore, because nobody's going to watch beyond 3 seconds. So if you fail to collect or fail to capture attention in that first 3 seconds, if you're failing to now grab their attention, people are not going to understand or know your business at all, right? So even in marketing, in ads, you need to learn how to capture quick attention. And then of course, CRM is the new priority right now, because your customer relationship gives the background or the building block for experiences. Experience is very human, experience is very emotional, and they sit on top of a relationship. If you don't have a relationship with your clients or with your prospects even, you're not going to have a business. People are not just going to look at you like a storefront and come in and buy. Even the store salespeople are the glue that helps build relationships. So your relationships with your clients are of the utmost importance during this time. If you want to create positive experiences for your clients, if you want to create a longevity or lifetime value even with your clients, your relationships are of utmost importance. So where does this all lead us to? I'm going to come back to our classic marketing sequence. For those of you who are not sure of this 5-step sequence, this is what I do with my students, with my inside group. Let me just reposition myself so that I don't get in the way of the graphic. And if you're really interested in this, I have a free video training on this. I think it's just 10 minutes long, where I really edit and accelerate the whole training overview of our classic 5-step marketing sequence. I call it a sequence because it is more like a pathway or a journey that you take your customers on, rather than a funnel where you just filter people in and then leave them high and dry, right at the bottom, so little, right? You can have a funnel, but if you work with me, I will teach you how to turn that funnel into a vortex, right? What goes in must also come out and cycle about, so that you create an ecological system. Anyway, let's come to a pathway, a sequence. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's like an inverted or rather a horizontal funnel anyway. Okay, so when we talk about the 5 stages, we're looking at this. And I'm just going to keep this very short, few minutes, and then I'll move on because I think what's more important is repairing our broken funnel. So at stage one, we all know these days it's not just one channel marketing. You can't just say, oh, social media, I use TikTok only. You can't do that. You need omni-channel marketing. In fact, a customer that walks through a particular brick and mortar shopping center is now being bombarded on all sides, 360, all types of marketing channels or devices. It could be their WhatsApp starts to think, right? And people are being tracked, literally tracked, right? Physically, your movements, like where you go and shop, your buying behavior, your consumer behavior, both online and offline. So omni-channel, right? Now, typical to our type of SMEs are like really small businesses, like how I run my businesses, and probably some of you freelancers, independent professionals, we probably are used to social media, maybe WhatsApp, yeah, and EDMs, simple feeds that we can drip it out to our people. But the whole idea is that with omni-channel marketing, we funnel them to a source or to a page. And we call this a landing page. I seldom like to refer it as our website or our web page because those are gone. Those are not even compatible with today's high attention uh, capturing devices out there. Everything's so short form and short intervals, right? So landing pages come and go. People don't really stay there because you, in this sequence, you need to also channel them either by opt-in, where you collect the details, right? Or and turn these leads into an offline, preferably an offline because of the cultivation of the warmth that you want to create in the relationship with them, to an event, right? Number three, an event with an offer, with a CTA, a call to action. So it could be an appointment, it could be a free consultation, well, it could be a Zoom, it could be a webinar such as this. So an event, right, is a very important design in this whole sequence, because without an event or activity, then all you're doing is just collecting leads, or it's a cold environment, and nothing gets transacted in a cold environment. You might want to write this down. Nothing gets transacted, not even relationship building, not and certainly not money, in a cold environment. You need to warm up your audience. And that's where you begin to follow up, whether they buy, don't buy, because the point here is not about buying. It's not about exchanging treasure. I always talk about the 3, 4, 5 T's. They are not going to exchange their treasure. They have to first exchange their time with you. Do you know that just by attending a webinar, like for example, such as this, I totally appreciate those of you who are here. I think there are about 30 plus of you here today, because you are giving me your time. And the moment you are giving me your time, my responsibility and obligation is to give you back value. So what value are you giving to your customers, your would-be prospects? Because if you don't, and you think that all you have is, hey, come here and buy, then you're asking more than what you're giving. So they are exchanging time first. Then in that event, and that's where things start to heat up. You're supposed to, warm the environment up. Then they begin to exchange and give you trust. Because without that trust, without that sincerity that you're emitting, whether they can trust you, whether you're credible, whether what you speak is, of any value at all, whether your education is substantial enough, and whether you're really helping them in terms of getting their results and transformation, then no one is going to go to the next step of exchanging or giving you treasure. Time, trust, then treasure. And the follow-up sequence is where you really start building them. Some people call it the nurturing sequence at stage 4, whether you keep them up to date with you, whether you're creating TOM or TOMA, which is top of mind awareness. Are they even aware, or you just gone cold just because they did not buy and then you just put them aside? You still need to nurture, you still need to talk to them. And relationships happen over conversations. Yes, it could be one way, because you have not moved from attention to engagement, and that's fine. But at least talk to them, start talking to them. I know what you're thinking. Some of you say, but I post on social media, Instagram every day. That's not talking to them, because there's no value. That's probably showing them about your life and the food that you eat. And that's of no value. In fact, those of you who came from my other social media marketing webinar before, I'm hardly active on social media. right? Like hardly, like zero. Doesn't mean I don't have a back end and I don't have an inner circle where I'm constantly having conversations. And then lastly, even if they buy, you still need to continue with your CRM, stage 5. And stage 5 has got to do with relationship management. You can employ tools, you can employ a system, you can employ Salesforce, whatever it is. You do need to nurture and continue with your CRM so that it becomes ecological. At this point in time, you're building an ecosystem of customer experiences, which means you have to do a lot of activities, or come up with challenges, or just get them engaged somehow. Or if it's not experiences, then at least relationship through conversation. Okay, now if you want to map this across the classic funnel, then it looks like this. This is where the journey begins for your customer. It starts with traffic, right? Number one, stage 1 is traffic, omni-channel, right? So it starts there. People start to be aware of you. Maybe they see your face. And this is where a lot of entrepreneurs get it wrong. They thought, hey, I got to start branding. I got to start wearing certain clothes. I got to start having my face everywhere plastered. You don't do that. Certainly not in your first, when we talk about your lifespan of your business life cycle. First 2 stages, you don't do that, because first 2 stages, you really need to have a proof of concept that your product, your service actually works. Right? And then when they do come in, can you see the funneling? Yeah, when they do come in at stage 2, it's what you call a lead. Now, you've heard of this term before, lead generation, lead generating, and where you get database. A lead is simply when you got contact detail. Now, in order to get that detail, especially with PDPA issues, you need to exchange with high value. Now, what content do you have? What asset do you have? Or what lead magnet do you have? Right? Most people, the typical conventional way of collecting leads is to offer a free trial or to get something out there free, or come get your free, coupon discount, whatever it is, right? Free ice cream also have, right? In exchange. And then the third one is an event that you organize. People do show up, they give you time, right? And they're starting to give you trust. They are not your customer, they are just prospects. A prospect is simply a suspect that they might be able to convert into your inner circle. And then only at stage 4 are they your customers. Before that, none of them are your customers. They may attend your workshops, they may attend your webinars, your free training, just like this Zoom. Doesn't mean that all of you are my customers. So please don't be misled. And only when they become your client at stage 5 do you really treat them like royalty, as I do with all my inner circle. Okay, so this is the marketing sequence, and this is where it goes really wrong for many of us, especially post-pandemic. We all thought that the system, left alone, is automated. And that's the problem with that word, because automated means you become passive. You just let it run as if AI takes over everything, right? And that's not true. We all know that you need to cultivate. So the word nurturing, flourishing, and cultivation is lost in our business vocabulary for some reason. Maybe because we've become so high-tech that we've forgotten that the high trust factor, the human factor, requires touch points, requires warming up through emotions, through experiences, and through conversation. So at any one of these points, starting from stage 1 at the traffic source already, we're selling. We're cutting videos out there in our ads, in our campaigns, and we forgot that the human touch is missing. Yeah. And worse, we spend so much time in writing great copy and ad campaigns and visuals and creatives that we forgot that the human language needs to be, people are drawn towards that first, right? Whether you're even speaking my language to begin with. Yeah. And then the leads, once they end up in your landing page, also needs to communicate that. Your assets that draw them, like lead magnets, right? Towards your landing page, where they to exchange their details and contacts with you for something that they find of value. It's also a very human experience, right? You don't want to just grab some ebook and then just pass to them and say, okay, just download this for free in exchange for your contact details. There must be something that is more specific to the target audience that are you meeting real needs, for example, to their pain or to their gain points. And then even at the prospect level, if you have an on-site face-to-face meeting or convention or event, even there, how do you create high-level customer experience, right? CX, right? From the lobby experience all the way to inside as they experience the event. This is taken from Hospitality 101, yeah, where Carl's, was it Carl's watch? Anyway, the hotel industry. They talk about at least 5 to 6 moments of truth, like every touch point. Of course, now moments of truth one, so they call it MOT one. It's at the lobby experience, right? When they're greeted with smiles, all that kind of thing. Now you've got MOT zero, like even before they turn up at your door, right? They check in. They are checking you out online because of the online world. So how do you present yourself, and what kind of uh, pre-relationship are you cultivating with them? Needless to say, stage 4 and stage 5, you are already cultivating a higher level of engagement, and hopefully it's no longer just attention, but it's engagement and interaction. Okay, so here's where the broken funnel is the lack of the experiential as well as the relational capital. All of us, back then in the pandemic, we talk a lot about the supply chain. We talk about product and then right down to from manufacturing all the way down to distribution. But many, and they talk about the capital investment, but many people forgot about the relational capital. Relational capital. Like for example, I don't have much capital in many of this, down the line, but I know people, and even the at the client level, I know people and they know me and they trust me, and that was how I leverage on that. Anyway, I want to tell you that in the day and age of content, yeah, we're not just here to create content for the sake of content. We are here to create meaning in our content, purpose in our content. Yeah. By the way, let's talk about content. What content do consumers and your prospects uh, consume? What do they do when they go online, when they read your stuff? Typically, they're just the 3 E's. Okay. Yeah. Especially during the pandemic, if you can entertain, yeah, you can make people laugh. You can, it's just entertaining your time. Yes, that's what people do when they consume content, right? And then for many of us who are coaches, I see many coaches, trainers, what we call the knowledgepreneur, is education. So what kind of education are you giving such that it's value for the kind of work that they're going or their life that they require some kind of this knowledge, right? Or insight. Uh, Many people fail to understand that number 3, elevation is also important. Elevation means an elevation of your spirit, where people want to be uplifted, where people want to be motivated, where people want to be inspired. So do you have a story? When I teach motivational speakers or trainers, I always say you have to anchor it on some kind of story. And the best stories are always your own, where it's irrefutable. The experience that you've gone through, the hardships and the setbacks that you have overcome personally, because that makes you very authentic and it really increases your credibility. So entertainment, education, elevation. Now, how does this all tie into my last part? And I'm just going into ChatGPT right now because this is the one that has taken the world by storm. It's gone crazy, like crazy, crazy viral, right? And I'm sure you guys would have checked it out yourself. So I'm not preaching to the choir here. You have probably Googled and watched dozens of videos on YouTubes. But the purpose of me bringing this topic up is how I've been doing it in the last month and how I streamline to my kind of work, which I think many of you also share, whether you're a coach, trainer, whether you are a entrepreneur that needs marketing, especially digital marketing, right? How do you employ this? Now, the ChatGPT, for those of you who are not aware, was launched just 3 months ago, late November, December, and now it's got more than I think 5 billion users already. It's really crazy because you can do all sorts of things as a AI, natural language processor. You can type it in just like almost like a Google, but it does much more than a Google. And I hope you don't use ChatGPT like a Google, another search engine, because it does much, much more. Okay. You can write a book. You can write a children's story. You can write a letter and ask it to write it to the tone and the voice of someone. You can lodge a complaint and it will give you the text, the right text that is democratically, politically correct for you to lodge it. You can, some of my friends in the Christian circle, some of them are relying on it, or albeit with caution, to write their sermons, their messages, because it churns out in a couple of seconds what used to be like days of research, right? I will not comment on those things. For me, I want to use it for marketing purposes and business purpose. So I'm going to share with you 4 very powerful business or marketing usages of ChatGPT. Are you ready? If you're ready, type in the chat box a big fat yes, because I think we're halfway through. Can, because I've been talking. My mic also got a problem. Thank you guys, you're still with me. If you're traveling, commuting, no problem, just tune in. Anyway, you've got to replay, okay? And so the 4 points I have filtered and distilled it just for you. Here they are. Number 1, CRM. As I was talking, I was sharing with you guys about CRM, the importance and the priority given to businesses about cultivating relationships. So your customer relationship management. And I understand many of us are so busy on the business, building our products and refining our services, that sometimes we forget about our customers, especially those who bought already, especially those who are in our circle. If you don't cultivate, they just die off. I liken our customers to a pond, aquarium of fishes. You go out fishing, which is a marketing concept, yeah, and then you bring them in. Don't just think about eating them alive and then spitting out the bones. Think about growing them in an aquarium. But if you put your fishes in your aquarium and you don't feed them, you don't talk to them, you don't cultivate anything, then they'll just die. So how do you do that? I've employed at least 50%, at least right now. And ChatGPT is going to be smarter, right? It's a learning machine. It's just going to be smarter in its algorithms in capturing the essence, the spirit, the style of the owner, right? The user, in this case, you. So your EDMs that you shoot out, you can actually employ ChatGPT, type it in, says, write me a 300-word EDM. You can just write an EDM. It understands that it's like a letter that needs to be sent out to your people, to your fishers, right? On Valentine's Day. And I did that. So I had a Valentine's Day EDM just to wish everybody happy Valentine's. But I said, my style, which is more psychological based and based on self-effectiveness and personal development, personal discipline. And it came out, and I said, write 3 points, right? And it came out a concept called self-love, not just self-love, but self-tough love. Because self-care doesn't mean just go to the spa and just, go traveling and that kind of massage, that kind of thing. Self-care also means being tough on yourself so that you produce the best result and keep yourself accountable. And I thought that was an excellent EDM. Now, obviously, it's just 50% because I need to land my own style and my own words. I do have my own buzzwords that I use and principles. And so I just recrafted, refined it. But what usually took me like 2 days to write was done in an hour. Yeah, I just put in some creatives, which you can use other AI generated tools to create the right pictures. I particularly use like DAL-E, DAL/E, DAL-E, right? And you can actually generate the right type of pictures with the right text and copy. Sales letters is the same. So how are you using ChatGPT? And later on, especially those of you going to stay back, I'll teach you the step-by-step sequence, because it's not so straightforward as typing into like Google, write me 300, even that's very specific, right? 300 words. You should add in other prompts. So this is what we call the prompt engine or prompt engineering, right? And you need to do it 3 to 4 layers down. So the first prompt that you put in is write me this 300 words for what season, for Christmas, for Easter, right? And then put in the clause of let's say marketing. Then the second one, you can dive deeper into the audience targeting for single women aged 35 to 45. Singaporean, for example. And then the third layer is who have issues with time, broken relationships. So you start putting in the pain point from demographic to psychographic. And then the fourth layer, so you can go deeper and deeper and deeper, and ChatGPT will bring you down to the depths of hell and back. Because they can go so deep, right down to the micro niche of your customer. Okay, Let me go to number two. Number two is content and asset creation. So in the same way, you can actually create content for social media, right? And again, specify just 50 words, right? To talk about the season, holidays, and then maybe you post together an image or a picture. Now, in days to come, probably version 3, 4, 5 of ChatGPT, they will be interface, I believe so, of images and text, right? That you can almost interpret like almost immediately, right? But at this point in time, it's just text, pure text, and it's good enough already. Asset creation, and what is asset creation? Asset creation has to do with the way I use it would be lead magnets. You can type into ChatGPT and say, write me a 600-word e-book or e-guide. You got to be really specific because AI at this point in time, while it's intelligent enough, it still needs instruction and micro refined instruction. So unlike SEO, Google, search engine, it requires very clear instructions, like micro granular details. So write me a 600-word e-guide, yeah, based on 6 points. So come up with the 6 points first, and it's going to spell out for you, like 1, 2, 3, and then elaborate on this with a clear CTA, call to action, and an offer behind for an upsell. So it will like churn out literally in seconds. Again, it's just a first cut, so you have to refine it again. Yeah, and usually they will ask you the second or third question, which is your target audience. Who are you writing this for? Okay. Now, can you imagine you use this content, you use this asset, and then you put it as a lead magnet? That itself is a way for you to draw leads from the traffic. You can put out an advert out there, either on your social media or you engage us for your digital marketing work. And then we can put out there in a campaign, say, click to download this free 600-page ebook to help you with your life purpose and goals, right? Totally free, worth like $50, right? I will click it. I'm a sucker for this. I will click it. And in order to download that book, that lead magnet, yeah, that gift, digital gift, I will have to exchange my details with you, like my email and my phone. And then you got a lead. You got literally a free lead. You no need to spend weeks or days just to create that ebook. So asset creation can come in the form of ebooks, e-guides, right? Cheat sheets, gameplays. Yeah, there's so many. Again, in my inner circle, I have one teaching just solely for that. How to create your lead magnets. I think there are 12 different types, like your playbook, etc. Okay, let's talk about number 3 because this is where it gets even more insidious. I use the word insidious because, my God, ChatGPT is almost like a human. Sometimes when I'm talking to him late at night, I can almost feel like I'm talking to an actual human, like at 12 a.m. And that's scary. Number 3 is targeted market research. Targeted, not just a market research. So let's say you want to start a business or you already have a product or service. Let's say you want to offer a spa massage treatment. Okay, let's say you just want to get into the business, okay? And I'm saying this because I'm a co-founder of a therapeutic manual therapy work as well. And I use ChatGPT, okay? And what happens is that you can type in and say, okay, can you share, ChatGPT, can you just highlight the key pain points of people in Singapore who would like a massage, right? And then it lists out for you, maybe 6 or 7. Now you start getting granular, right? You start zooming in and says, okay, list me the top 3 in terms of your hierarchy of those who really need a massage after work. And then it will list down for you, like women in their 30s, 40s onwards, yeah, who have children and they're always, or PMEs who work in a desk-bound job and they always have neck and shoulder pain, that tension, right? And then you go down even deeper. So what are the key issues that they face? And then they say, oh, no time to exercise, and they lead relatively unhealthy lives. So they're always in pain and chronic fatigue, and they're mainly fatigue and they cannot sleep at night, right? Singaporeans we're talking about, right? And then you can even go down as deep as and I've tried this, right? I've not yet to use it, but I've tried it and it really works, as in it shows me the data and the analytics. And you can ask it at the third or fourth level, okay, if I were so and so, so I put down a name, right? If I were Mary, yeah, who's like what you described. So Mary in capital letters, yeah, who wants to have a massage badly, yeah. What would a marketing language be required for her to take notice? So guys, ChatGPT is going to come out with the exact text that will capture the attention of this Mary, which you already qualify as someone who needs massage. So for example, it's going to say, oh, if it's after hours, and the availability would be like in the nights after work in town, right? Um, and the massage is good and it promises to release all my tension and my headaches, yeah, and the price is right, well, I will go for it. So that helps me to put all these details and text into a marketing flyer, for example, a brochure, okay, or even an EDM, or even in my digital campaigns. So it goes right down to the way it's no longer like it's more like it helps. It's like a marketing consultant. That's what number 3 is all about. The targeted market research. It gives you a persona, an avatar of this person that you're trying to reach out to. Okay. So can you imagine the kind of work, the kind of potential it has for your marketing when you're trying to reach out to your target audience? Wow, please go and try this out, okay? And later on, we're going to do a very quick hands-on 15 minutes for those of us who are inside. Lastly, ad and marketing copy. This goes without saying. So from number 3, once you get the details, once you get the copy, the text of what is being churned out, you just include it into your ads or your marketing copy, and it drastically reduces your time down to a fraction of what used to be like 3 to 5 days just trying to come up with ad copy. Obviously, the creatives, the videos, and the images you still need to provide. But I say start with the text first, because the text has a kind of language, and it's not just any language; it's a natural language. Now, when ChatGPT came out, and people were talking about how students can plagiarize it for their assignments, etc. Some of the professors were a bit arrogant or ignorant. They said that no, I don't think it can replace the human voice because it will sound very robotic and it's very clearly AI. But that's not true, because now it is NLP, is natural language processing. It really sounds like a human, and it all is the way it churns out those content is based on your instructions. So for example, you can say in your ad copy, okay, let's say you already have a paragraph for your ad copy selling tuition programs, right? So you're saying, hey, you're going to get A's, if you come for my training for like 3 months or 6 months tuition, etc. But it sounds very adultish. That means it's for parents. And we all know, obviously, parents are the customers, right, for tuition programs, not the kids. But if you want to use that same idea and concept and break it down to a language for the primary school kid, all you need to do is just tell ChatGPT, please use this same concept, but turn the language into something that a 10-year-old Singaporean student in Singapore would be attracted to. And you would churn it within a few seconds to the language of a child, like 10-year-old. Hey, buddy, have you ever wondered how it could be like for you if you were ahead of your class, ahead of all your peers, and getting good grades, and then getting a chance to go to Universal Studios, right? What if you could score A's and then make your mom proud, and then they will bring you out for holiday? Okay, so it will literally talk in that voice for the targeted audience that you want to. Okay? Now, what are the benefits of ChatGPT? I think it goes without saying. The 3 C's: cost effectiveness. You don't need to hire a sales marketing team or consultant. You can do it on your own now. Obviously, you still need help in the technicalities of launching ads, for example, online. And then number two, customization. I just told you that it's no longer just for the mass audience. You can customize to your target or niche groups. And then lastly, number three, customer satisfaction, especially in your lead nurture, when you are building relationships and you're sounding like you are sincere and you're connecting to that level of needs, that will be value added. Okay, three benefits of ChatGPT. I'm going to offer this a free complimentary business and marketing strat call for you. I know many of you run your own business and some of you even aspire, you don't know where to start. Well, that's what we do at Breakthrough Entrepreneurship, as well as EA, Entrepreneur Accelerator programs. In it, you can get to watch download my free training video, the 5-step, 5-stage marketing sequence that I shared earlier on, as well as a free 10 to 15-minute call, right? You can scan the QR code and that's the link. I think the link is being pumped out there. Okay, so if you want to have a free one-on-one call consult, and we make it really quick because everything's accelerated these days, I can point you the way very quickly. I can make some referrals to you outside or even inside towards some of my programs. I'm also very excited to launch a couple of my EA programs this year in a new version. Yeah, EA is Entrepreneur Accelerator program. And then I'm very excited to relaunch. This, guys, is a relaunch of my Future Coach program. So what's the Future Coach program? It's tools and frameworks for you to build a rock-solid business model. All right. Leverage on insights to secure market opportunities, because a lot of coaches and trainers in Singapore, they don't even know who their target market audience is to begin with. And then harness the strategies and systems to profit from your passion. Those of us who are 40 and above, you have lived life long enough, I think long enough to know that you don't want to sell out your life to a 9-to-5 job forever. You want to retire on your own terms, and you want to give and live out your potential and your passion. You know, you've got a lot of experiences, a lot of expertise inside of you to give to people, and you don't know where to start. I tell you, one of the best ways to do it is to be a knowledgepreneur, because, you know, knowledge, experience of life, this is intellectual property. You don't need to get capital startup for opening up your F&B restaurant, you know, $50,000, $100,000. You don't need to start some retail outlet. You just need this, productize it, and then you get a very lucrative, I would say, coaching and training business. So this is Future Coach, and here is the link and the QR code for you to scan very quickly, where you get to watch a full-on introductory video training of mine, where I spell out the 3 domain map by which every coach, every future coach needs to build your business upon. Okay, and then I think it's 30 minutes, maybe 40 minutes is taken from my previous webinar previews. It's an introductory module where you get to see it, watch, and even take those tools and strategies immediately to apply. But more importantly, I want to invite you as I relaunch this new version of Future Coach starting in April. Okay, I've already got some critical mass students that's filling up. It is a coaching program and a training program over a period of time, 8 months, right? And it's the real value is in the coaching. I will do group coaching such as this, but then the real value is in the coaching. The training videos are all there for you to just take and use. But when you seek an audience with me as a consultant, I will customize your training pathway, your own coaching pathway, so that you don't just falter and go by trial and error. Okay, because training itself these days has no value. The real value is in coaching, and I'll teach you and tell you why. All right, so there you have it, guys.